we're going to just briefly talk about what I call high payoff activities and low payoff activities. Now, some of this, for some of you may go, okay, I've learned this years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Some people say, no one ever gave me guidelines on what a typical day should look like, but really, how should I structure my time? And so bear with me for those of you who are like, yes, I know this, and you're looking in the mirror and you say, I do this. That's the difference, right? Because all of us know what we should be doing with our time and how we should leverage our time, but the question will always remain for every single one of us. Are we truly leveraging our time? Are we truly utilizing our time for high payoff activities in the right time of the day, whatever that looks like? And I'm going to give you some ideas here or remind you about some of them, but I challenge each and every one of you. Sometimes I find the more tenured you are, the more that we sometimes allow what I call time wasters to seep in. And we're going to talk about time wasters in a little bit, what forms and fashions they come in. And the more tenured you are as well and the more busy you are, what happens is you're going to have a lot of customer emergencies and you're going to have a lot of things, of course, come in that look like they're still good uses of your time, but perhaps if we reworked them and repackaged them in a way that still worked as a benefit to you and your customer, you'll have better time management. Okay, so what you're going to find in your book is there's a little bit more extensive information. I'm giving you ideas on that. So in other words, I do want you to be in front of clients as much as possible to build relationships and to build trust. Many of you said this in your icebreaker, but the reality is we are outside salespeople. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm not necessarily referring to like the old school selling of, you know, a strict hardcore, you know, only this and only this scenario, but what I'm saying is let's do what we do best. We're going to talk about a combination approach. We're going to talk about the importance of phones. We're going to talk about the importance of in-person scenarios. We're going to talk about the importance of emails and social media. You know, the whole gamut. Don't worry. What I'm saying to you is most of us got into outside sales or are transitioning into outside sales because we truly like and love to be with people in a way that serves them, in a way that we are truly finding their finding solutions for them. Our job is to become extremely skilled in learning the psychology of the buyer, understanding how to relate to each person, where they're at, and helping them with the buying process. Okay, I know we're covering parts of the sales process, but as many of you even noted in your icebreaker, let's face it, gang, the more you get into sales, the more you get more mature in what you're doing. It is about the psychology of the buyer. It is about helping them through the buying process, and sometimes you have to slow down just a little bit to speed the process up to an ultimate win for both sides. It cannot be one or the other. It has to be a win-win for both sides, and it has to be serving people in the best way that we can. So when you look at this, I just encourage you, for some of you who this is newer to, more so the industry could even be, not so much just the sales, but when you're even moving from an inside sales or retail position, or maybe even car sales in that perspective, because you're, you know, at car sales you're usually waiting for people to come in or come to you. We need to be proactive. And what does that look like and what does that mean? That means that we need to make sure that we're spending this valuable high payoff time during the bulk of the day talking to or in front of people. And it comes in different forms. So prospecting with warm calls, cold calls, making sure we're following up, making sure that we're presenting our proposals. It's not about creating the proposals during this key time during the day from 8 to 4 or so, give or take. It's about presenting that and being in front of someone to build that rapport further. It's about demoing our equipment, our software, our solutions. And that still applies to sales. To me, systems for sales is how do we effectively use our time? Are we making sure that we have a calendar? And I'll just plug this in. This is a good time to plug this in. When I have when I have new people and or very tenured people come to me and say, I feel chaotic, I feel overwhelmed, I can't get it all done, or I don't know how to learn this faster so I don't feel uncomfortable or not credible in the field. I give them this exercise. And I say, here's what I want you to do. I call it the calendar exercise. You go into Outlook or whatever you have. Most people have Outlook or some calendar. And I want you to plan at the end of a Friday, just like you plan for 10 minutes at the end of the day for the next day and have things organized. At the end of a Friday, I want you to go into that calendar and I want you to fill it all in. I know some of you may be saying, fill it all in, like you need wiggle room. Yes, of course you need wiggle room. But what I'm saying to you is have a plan and batch things and have time where you can look back and say, what are things I need to accomplish? And let's plug it into a visual calendar and see how I can leverage this calendar. So there's two reasons why I encourage this calendar exercise. Not only because I know the power of planning and taking a step back from being so into the situation, take a step back and look at it as a week, but also we can uncover and discover where time traps are seeping in. And that's because we plan at the end of the day on Friday, and here's how this goes. Let's say you go into Outlook. I'll use that as an example. I'm going to go in and I'm going to plug into Outlook or a printed out calendar, whichever one serves you best, because we all operate differently. Whatever gives you the highest value, do that. So you have it. What you want you to do is put all your appointments you have scheduled in, all your demos, anything else that has a scheduled time. Then I want you to look at the open time, and I want you to say, how do I fill in these blocks of time the most effective? I might block out a batch of time to say, I'm going to be prospecting in the field for this. This time I'm going to be blocking this out to be prospecting on the phones. This block of time, I'm going to make sure at the end of the day I have 30 minutes every day to input all my stuff for the day into CRM, Customer Relationship Management Tool. I'm going to take 30 minutes at the end of the day to work on this. Some of you may, because of the vast or extensive or lack of, or not extensive of proposals. I'm going to block out an hour every day for proposals. See, it doesn't mean that you're going to fill that with that time every time. What I'm saying to you is you have a plan. And when you have the stuff that needs to fill in at that time, you'll use it effectively. If you don't have what needs to go in that time, you've now opened up some time where you can look back and say, okay, what else is lacking, or what areas do I still need to accomplish, and I can go ahead and put it into that block of time. So it allows you to plan. It lets you to control your own schedule instead of you feeling like other people are controlling your schedule. And what it also does is that, but here's the caveat. Plan it out. If it's electronic in Outlook, convert that to a PDF. You can actually save that as a PDF, so it's a snapshot in time of planning, or you can print it out. And then what I want you to do is throughout the week, actually change that schedule to reflect what really happened. Fill in, and now we're talking like what really happened, all right? Not, hey, I didn't get this done, I know it. No, switch it. Like I blocked out 2 hours of prospecting, and what ended up happening is I spent an hour putting out customer fires, and an hour of it, let's face it, I ended up filling that hour, unfortunately, on Facebook or socializing in the office or taking a coffee break and getting into a conversation, whatever it is. I want you to fill out the reality of what happened, whatever that looks like. And at the end of the week, convert that version to a PDF or print it out, and then I want you to put it side by side. And when you put it side by side, no matter what level you're at, you will be probably a little bit surprised. I would fear to say you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised because you think you're really good at managing your time. You feel like you're completely chaotic and you have no idea where to start. Do the exercise. Good takeaway. Even if you feel you're doing really good with your time management, just for kicks and giggles, try it and see what changes. And at the end of the week, you may say, I'm okay with what changed. It's still high payoff activity and productivity time. Others of you may say, holy cow, I had no idea I was allowing my schedule to be changed in a way that at the end of the day I felt very busy but not very productive. Because busy work is not productive work all the time. Let's be real with ourselves and let's be fair. Just because you're busy does not mean you're being productive. You need to assess that and you need to tweak your schedule accordingly. And you need to constantly reassess. Because as I mentioned before, you might have mastered your calendar now, but this exercise is done on a fairly regular rotation. People intentionally do it themselves, not that they're being forced to do it, but they do it regularly. Last week I had a rep contact me who's been selling for 25 years. 25 years. And he said, his name is Ryan, and he said, Melissa, I am everything's chaos. I have so much going on. I can't get it all done. I wish we had more hours in a day. We all know how that feels. And I want to make sure things are starting to fall between the cracks. I'm not getting back to all the people I'm supposed to. I'm not getting timely proposals back to people, whatever it may be. And I said, Ryan, you've done the calendar exercise before. You need to do it again. 25 years of selling in the same industry, by the way. All right. Then I have new people for the same reason of say, I just can't get a structure down. I can't get a format and a routine. So same benefit. We'll move on.